We are slaying monsters.
Don't let the ghosts and the ghouls disturb you, darling.
That was at the New York State Fair. Mm-hmm. So this is like your neck of the woods.
Oh yeah.
Like for real.
Oh yeah. I think I did that maybe 3 or 4 years. I really don't know. I don't even know if I had to qualify. It's so fuzzy in my memory. But like the Syracuse, the New York State Fair in Syracuse had a talent show. I don't even know what it was called, but it was, I would go up and sing with a bunch of people, and then there would be like a winner, and I think I won a few times. I don't really know. I can't remember.
What did you win, like a bag of caramel corn?
Oh, that's a great question. I think I might have won like maybe tickets for next year or something. Or maybe an opportunity to compete again the next year, like an automatic like in. I don't know.
Wow. They're like, you won the chance to come back.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I won cotton candy. I have no idea. I don't know. But it was fun. It was a good memory. I love the New York State Fair. It's awesome.
We didn't really have a state, well, we might have had a state fair when I was growing up, but our local festival was the Hinkle Festival, which was a chicken festival. And that was in a little park, and everything was kind of chicken themed, and they had a bunch of chickens. I don't remember. I was a really little kid when we would go. It was not a huge, incredible like to do. I don't think we really had rides. There wasn't like ride the chicken. But that was the whole reason that we had a Hinkle Festival was actually, now that I think back on it, it's very Wayland Yutani. There was because it was sponsored by Purdue.
Oh
I'm
my
pretty
God.
sure it was right next to the Purdue chicken
it
plant
had to
where,
be.
where they were like slaughtering chickens. So yeah,
Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure that it was sponsored by Purdue.
Oh my God.
Isn't that like the most fucking bizarre thing? I mean, I guess it still goes on. Central Pennsylvania, this is about the time for the Hinkle Festival. So,
Oh, man.
SlayingMonstersPodcast@gmail.com. Tell me your Hinklefest experiences.
Oh my God. Like all the not even one person that listens to our podcast has ever heard of this.
No, there's absolutely one person, because my mom listens to our podcast.
Okay. Yeah, right. All right.
She's definitely been
She
there.
should share some memories for us. That would be great. Yeah, it's an interesting divide between the New York State Fair and the Hinklefest, but I think they both have their charm. Honestly, I would love to see the Hinklefest, except I think being so close to Purdue would make me very depressed. So maybe not.
Well, where I went to high school was right next to the Purdue factory, like closer than where the Hinklefest was. And so driving by, you could always smell all of the chicken shit on your way to school.
Could you smell it at school?
Not really. We were
Okay.
far enough away that like it had to be a very particular type of weather event. And then maybe you could smell it outside, but most of the time, no.
That's good, because that shit's so bad for you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it wasn't great. Yeah.
Holy crap.
I knew a guy who worked there who had to get like armored up to go catch the chickens and kill them and stuff. And yeah, I mean, he was breathing that shit in all the time. That I guess they wore respirators, but yeah.
Yes, they have to wear respirators. I mean, there's a lot of documentaries on that stuff, by the way. But anyway, Hinklefest, okay. Well, not quite the same as the State Fair. I don't think they have a Bigfoot on display at the Hinklefest.
No, if anything, they would have a cryptid chicken of some kind.
That would be cool.
I mean, there is Mike the Headless Chicken.
There is Mike the Headless Chicken.
Yeah. That's the only chicken cryptid I know of, I believe. I mean, there are bird cryptids. But specifically a chicken cryptid is just Mike the Headless Chicken. Of course, the chicken that lived for like a year after it had its head cut off.
He is a real chicken, by the way, not fake stories. Anyway, why are we even talking about this? Well, we have a top breaking news. It's not really breaking news. It's just like a top story about the Bigfoot at the New York State Fair. We are slaying monsters. We got Maddie J.
Bok, bok, bok.
Very good. Wow, wait, where did Matt go? Why is this chicken in front of me? I'm EJ. And we do not have Kate with us because Kate is on a really cool trip somewhere.
Yeah, Katie's on vacation.
So
But
we're going to be without Katie, but she'll be back soon.
We will push forward.
Yes, we will.
So, yeah, this is time for our Fortean Roundup for August. This is when we talk about all the great Fortean news that has come out over the last month and get you up to speed on it. So, yeah, EJ, you want to... We've already kind of been talking around this story, so...
We buried the lead enough. Yeah, so go ahead.
Man, so the New York State Fair, which is opened today, the day that we are recording this, you can go there and you can see the dead, apparently taxidermied remains of a Sasquatch. This latest specimen was supposedly found on October of 2024 by a man who goes by the name of Charles Snake Stewart. Apparently, Stewart had been camping in the backwoods of the Adirondacks when he smelled something terrible. Not a skunk, and not a dead animal, and not himself, but something else. Snake literally followed his nose and found the dead Sasquatch in a patch of poison ivy. He initially considered contacting park rangers or authorities, but felt that he couldn't trust them. This is kind of... I always hear this rumor that there are people in the forestry management and stuff that are hiding cryptids, because if people find out that there are cryptids, they are going to be like pro-conservation or something like that. So there's a whole effort to hide them because you don't want their habitats to be known or something like that.
If that were remotely true, they wouldn't allow for backcountry hiking.
Yeah.
Backcountry camping.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a great theory. It doesn't really hold water when you think about it. Anyway, Snake decided that it was his duty to display the Sasquatch himself and bring it to the public. So he nicknamed the specimen Dak, which it took me a very long time to figure out that Dak is because it was found in the Adirondacks, and like an embarrassingly long time to do that. But apparently Dak is 8 feet tall, fully hairy, and shows no visible signs of trauma. His initial findings, that's Snake's initial findings, apparently show that it was an omnivore based around scat samples that he also collected. Snake's website, bigfootremains.com, lists out other findings in very generic language, like, with our advanced image scanning, we have unveiled some fascinating new insights into Bigfoot's locomotion, but then don't give any actual insights.
I really doubt that a guy named Snake has advanced image capturing or whatever the hell it is.
No, I mean, that's like your phone camera. That's what he means.
It is advanced. I will give him that. I mean, the iPhone is quite an advanced piece of technology.
Yeah. He also says the baculum, or reproductive bone, is a fascinating anatomical feature found in many mammals, including some primates, and we have proof of it in Bigfoot. How is this significant? It provides us with massively important clues about the Bigfoot's reproductive methods. Again, but he doesn't give you any of these clues about the reproductive methods.
But this is good because he's smart enough to pinpoint a single medical feature about this thing. And so I think by doing that, it kind of gives a little bit of credence to it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I found Bigfoot. It was lying down dead. Like, oh, nah, I looked into the baculum of the Bigfoot. It has it, and it tells us so much.
Well, and it makes him seem like an actual credible researcher, zoologist, you know, instead of just some guy. And this guy, I mean, we haven't really talked about what Snake himself looks like, but...
He's fun.
Yeah.
He looks fun, man. He looks like somebody you definitely find at a tractor pull. He's a good time. He's like a straight Joe Exotic. Although I don't know if he's straight or not.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't know. But he is like always wearing this leopard print vest with a high visibility head wrap and massive sunglasses. And he's got bleached blonde hair and is just, he is, and there was a video on his Instagram of him doing push-ups in his little tighty whities, but they were like pink polka dots.
It was great.
And then playing with his dog.
He's a character.
Stuff.
He's like, selling himself as a character, just like Joe Exotic does, just like Dog the
sure.
Bounty Hunter. He's understanding completely what he's doing, and it's, it's his thing.
Yeah, larger than life.
Yeah. Do you think that if Dog the Bounty Hunter, Joe Exotic, and Snake all got together, a tear in the universe there would be a tear in the universe and the world would be sucked into a black hole?
I don't understand why we're getting movies like Thunderbolts and not a movie with the three of them recruiting a team to go hunt down something or other.
Something.
I would rather watch that. I mean, nothing against Florence Pugh and the Pullman kid, but
they need to go find cryptids. There needs to be a reality TV show where Dog the Bounty Hunter, because he knows how to find things, he is like the main guy, and they follow him. They're his like muscle and his like, you know what I mean?
Dude. So we're gonna cut this out. Remind me, we will cut this out because we're gonna pitch this.
We're gonna pitch it to Discovery.
We're gonna sell this show
or TLC, the Learning Channel. They would take it.
Or History.
Or History, yes. Oh, the History Channel. They would take it.
Absolutely. So anyway, a lot of the stuff on his website reads kind of like AI slop to me. Mm-hmm. There's this particular passage on, quote, the great Bigfoot howl that I loved, where it says, it's possible that a hypothetical Bigfoot could use a combination of howling and branch banging, depending on context. But why would you call it a hypothetical Bigfoot if you have one yourself? It's not hypothetical. You have one. It's in a glass case at the New York State Fair.
It's true.
That hypothetical Bigfoot isn't the only contradiction on the site either. Snake claims to have developed a revolutionary new method of Bigfoot hunting. He says that all the howling, the baiting, the pheromones, remember whenever we would watch Finding Bigfoot, they would always go in the woods and do their Bigfoot calls and be like, woo. But Snake says that those are all bullshit. To find a Sasquatch, he says you need to, quote, integrate yourself into the environment. And yet, his website features nearly 400 words detailing the complexity of Bigfoot communication through howls and branch banging.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder Matt Moneymaker's upset. He's like shitting on his methods.
Well, yeah, I mean, so the Bigfoot community, I haven't seen a whole lot of response, but the Bigfoot Research Organization president and Finding Bigfoot host Matt Moneymaker wrote on Twitter, no, he doesn't have actual Bigfoot remains. It's just a cheesy, fake, dead Bigfoot. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, it probably is, right? Yeah. But in response, Snake did offer to fly Matt Moneymaker out to his exhibit. And as far as I know, and as of like the opening of the exhibit, Matt Moneymaker has not yet taken him up on that offer.
A free trip to Syracuse? Come on.
I mean, I would do it. I would do it. Honestly, we were about to take a trip up to New York, and I was trying to figure out how we could bundle this into our trip, but it's just a little bit too far away.
New York's a huge state.
But I'm when I first saw this a couple of weeks ago, I was like, oh my God, we have to go see Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also Syracuse at this time of year is beautiful, so I don't know. I just think it's unlikely that the one guy, the most colorful bird in the birdcage is the one that finds the Bigfoot. Like, it's too unbelievable for me. It's not Joe Schmo down the street. It's this very colorful character who's trying to build a name for himself clearly.
I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that someone like that is the person who finds something exceedingly rare in the woods. I just don't know that the response to all of it would be exactly this.
Well, he's looking for fame.
Yeah.
And he's getting it.
Apparently he had it taxidermied. And so it seems like it would be really easy to he's going to display the bones and he's going to display the taxidermized remains and stuff, but it seems like it'd be really easy to just be like, "Hey, I'm a taxidermist." It's got to be a professional, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a taxidermist. I know what I'm doing. I've never seen this specimen before. I legitimately cut into it and found internal organs and shit. It's not empty rubber.
Well, he's sort of writing himself into a corner because if he says he got it taxidermied, then there should be a taxidermist out there that has seen it that can come out and say, yeah, this guy's true. This guy's telling the truth. And there isn't one, as far as I know.
Maybe he did it himself.
He probably knows how to taxidermy. He looks like he does.
Yeah.
No offense to taxidermists. It just seems like he knows. It just seems like this guy has that kind of. It seems like he can do almost anything, but poorly.
I mean,
a jack of all trades.
I feel like if you are, I do believe that he probably has some experience butchering if he's actually going out in the woods like that. And if you butcher, I don't think it's that far of a jump to also do taxidermy. You know, it's kind of, you know how to take it apart. You should know how to put it back together. You know, I'm not saying you can do it well, but you know, it's kind of just sewing, right?
Oh my God. All the taxidermists are now like throwing their beers at the wall, angry. Any taxidermists listening, you can set Matty J in his place here.
Slangmonsterspodcast@gmail.com.
It is a very difficult art, but go ahead.
So Snake also gave what appears to be a fake interview, I think, that's on their website. This is really weird because the video is actually hosted on CBS 6 New York's YouTube. So it's on their channel, but it doesn't appear to be conducted by any of their staff journalists. And there's no newsroom. There's just like Zoom style blurred backgrounds. The interviewer doesn't really ask what I would consider to be interview questions. They just kind of hit talking points that obviously Snake wants to talk about. Mm-hmm. And so the whole thing is very strange. It is branded with their content, but it also is not in the format of a lot of the other videos that are hosted on CBS 6's YouTube. So I can't figure it out.
Well, you were positing that it could have been like a press release.
It might have been, yeah, it might have been a press release. Yeah. And allegedly, at least according to the exhibit's Instagram, DNA samples were sent to Cornell University in June. And those results have already come back and show Neanderthal DNA, which Snake claims proves that this specimen is an authentic Bigfoot.
Again, where is the comment from Cornell University saying this guy's legit?
Right, from their anthropology, or I guess their genetics department. You would think that they would come forward and say, yes, we are corroborating this, or we are going to publish a paper on this because this is really groundbreaking for the genetics department. Like that would be a big deal.
Yeah. Summer break or not, this is like enough to bring everybody back in and be like, oh my God, 5-alarm fire. We got to do something about this.
You would think so. And I think the timing is a little interesting. We were talking about this a little bit before the show, but so Snake claims that he submitted the DNA in June. I don't know how long it typically takes that to come back, but I don't think it's out of the question that it takes maybe 2 months to get that back. So you submit it mid-June, you get it back mid-August, maybe, right? But are there that many people working in the genetics lab of Cornell University over the summer? Maybe. Are they backed up in genetics stuff? I don't really know. Can you pay to rush stuff? These are all the little questions that I haven't really had answered to my liking at this point. Mm-hmm. You know, my suspicion is if you submit DNA anywhere, there's a waiting period. And it's probably longer than a couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. I suspect it's probably a couple of months, like 6 to 9 months to get that back.
Yeah.
I don't know that. He might have been able to rush it. He might know someone there. You know, I mean, he's from New York. His brother might work at Cornell. Who the hell knows, right? But it is just another little question mark in this story. Not that I believed that he found a Bigfoot lying in a patch of poison ivy to begin with, but I'm willing to give Snake the benefit of the doubt if I can. Now, fake Sasquatch bodies do pop up now and then, most notably the Minnesota Iceman in the late 1960s. That was a gaffe, a carnival sideshow exhibit manufactured by Frank Hansen and showed at the Wisconsin Fair and the Chicago Livestock Festival. The Minnesota Iceman caught the attention of none other than the grandfathers of cryptozoology, Ivan T. Sanderson and Bernard Heuvelmans. The pair examined the Iceman specimen, determined it was genuine, meaning that it was a real legitimate Sasquatch new species, and declared that it was this missing link. It wasn't. It was just a rubber model encased in ice that Frank Hansen had mocked up. And that was proven, I mean, it was suspected for quite a while, but it was proven in 2013 when the model resurfaced in an episode of the TV show Shipping Wars. That Iceman model now lives at the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. More recently, in 2008, images of a Bigfoot crammed into a chest freezer floated around the internet. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah, I'm sure you showed it to me.
Yeah, that also turned out to be a hoax perpetrated by Tom Biscardi and Rick Dyer, who used a very convincing rubber costume. And that costume resurfaced again a couple of years later, with Dyer claiming that he had shot a Bigfoot in Texas. We'll have to see if anything comes from Snake's wild claims, but my listeners, tickets are less than $10. They're like $9 and change. So if you are in the vicinity of Syracuse and you want to go to the New York State Fair and check out a Sasquatch, give us a full report, slayingmonsterspodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know. I mean, I guess the one thing I'll say is that he's making it affordable, which is nice of him.
Yeah, I was waiting for those tickets to be like $30 or something like that. You do have to pay. So you have to pay to get into the state fair, and then you have to pay to see his exhibit in particular.
Yeah, but his exhibit is not that expensive.
But it's
and the
not
state
that
fair
expensive.
isn't expensive.
I mean, I don't know that.
I don't
but
think.
But yeah, you do have to pay him specifically. I do worry a little bit that if Snake Stewart is just running this as a fun little carnival gag, he doesn't have anywhere on his website or anywhere on any of his marketing that this is not real or that it's for entertainment purposes only. And so someone could potentially sue him for false advertising, and that's like a big deal. If it's just something that he's doing for fun, I don't want to see that happen to the poor guy. But go check it out and let us know what's going on there.
Breaking news.
Ding 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 ding. We're coming here from the future.
Yes.
Because we recorded most of this episode, and then over the past week there have been a lot of people who have been in attendance of the New York State Fair. We did not get to go to the New York State Fair, but there is some new information that has come forth about the Bigfoot remains of this alleged Bigfoot Dak. And it turns out, thanks to the Reddit Bigfoot community, they were very quick to break this. Actually, within the first couple of days of it being at the fair, this broke that Snake Stewart is actually an alias of an artist named Brian Andrew Whiteley. Now, Whiteley is a visual artist. They found him on Instagram. He does a lot of, kind of political themed art. Very anti-Trump, which I respect about him a lot. Also, he does like to spend quite a bit of time both shirtless and pantsless in little Speedos and things, and I respect that too. You gotta lean into that, my friend.
Yeah. I think he's pretty great. I mean, I don't know much about him as a guy, but I mean, if his politics are reflected upon his personality, then I can say that I might like him.
So if you go into the history of Brian Andrew Whiteley's Instagram account, pretty far back. I mean, we're talking about, let's see, 540 weeks, however many years that would be. He has that exact Bigfoot costume that is currently or was on display at the New York State Fair. That is posing in a couple different promotional pictures. Also one where it appears that two Bigfoots are fornicating. But he was contracted at some point to do a spread for the Brooklyn paper titled Bigfoot's Backyard, Sasquatch Sighted in Prospect Park. And he, I guess, dressed up as Bigfoot and shot some photos and video in that Bigfoot costume. But it's very clearly the exact suit. There's plenty of photos. That's exactly the costume that...
It looks like it. Maybe a little altered, but...
Yeah, the fur on the one that is displaying looks a little bit darker, but like the brow ridges and stuff are exactly Dak, the one that was on display. So I think it's pretty clear that what Snake Stewart found was not actually a legitimate Bigfoot carcass, but was in fact this suit that Brian Andrew Whiteley was using in an art display.
Yeah, he even has it playing the drums.
Oh yeah, he does.
It's amazing.
Good job, Bigfoot.
I think that this guy is trolling cryptozoology.
I guess so. It does have a bit of a, it has that artist vibe, that kind of beatnik artist vibe that we got from the Doc Shields series. Somebody who's out there. Snake Stewart, you even said it in the podcast, he felt like someone was playing a caricature of Tiger King or something like that, And so I think that obviously as a created character, it's a big art piece that he's been doing.
I do. I think so. I think this is performance art of some kind.
Yeah.
And it's kind of amazing, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's fraud per se, if he can kind of do it under the mask of performance art, if he can say that he's playing a character. I don't know if it's considered fraud anymore. I don't know.
I don't know the legality.
What's the legality?
Any lawyers, any entertainment lawyers who listen to the podcast, slayingmonsterspodcast@gmail.com.
Let us know.
But, and I felt a little bit bad when I first found out about this. I was like, well, we got to talk about this. But I also kind of don't want to break the cover of it because it almost feels like I'm revealing the secrets of the magic trick. But
it's out there now.
But it's out there. So, yeah. All of that is to say that Dak, not a real Sasquatch, was just a costume and part of an elaborate piece of performance art. And, that's the end of it.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the end of it. But yeah, this guy's art is pretty interesting. If you go to his Instagram, it's just Brian_Andrew_Whiteley. And his stuff is pretty interesting. I would check it out.
He's also brianwhiteleyart.com. And, give him some love.
I guess so. I mean,
give him some love. I mean, even for just doing the Sasquatch thing, I think that's pretty cool.
Pretty ballsy.
Yeah. I think it's important that the cryptozoology community, the Fortean community, is able to sometimes laugh at itself and have fun at its own expense occasionally. So good on you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Probably back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Now we have an update on Annabelle the doll, sort of. She has a new owner. We've been following the claimed movements of Annabelle ever since news outlets claimed that she'd burned down a plantation and organized a jailbreak earlier this year. And according to rumors, she also may have killed her previous handler, Dan Rivera, although probably not. But now, Matt Rife, comedian, has purchased not just Annabelle, but the entire haunted museum that she belongs to. The TMZ article that I read about this calls Matt Rife Annabelle's, quote, legal guardian. And Rife himself, we know, has had an interest in the paranormal because he appeared as a guest investigator on Ghost Adventures last season, 2 seasons ago, something like that.
I think so, yeah. He and Zach are buddies.
Yeah, they definitely are. Annabelle was one of several alleged haunted objects held in the Occult Museum. That had originally been founded by Ed Warren, self-proclaimed demonologist and known con man. Working with his wife Lorraine, who claimed to be a medium, they ran the New England Society of Psychic Research, a ghost hunting group. That's who Dan Rivera belonged to, Annabelle's previous handler who was touring her around the country. Now, in reality, Ed Warren capitalized on the exorcism craze of the 1970s, investigating high-profile haunted locations for publicity. He manipulated Caroline Perrin into believing she was possessed. That's the plot of the first Conjuring movie. Well, not his manipulation, but the Perrins are the plot of the first Conjuring movie. He agreed to help out the Lutzes and William Weber, claiming that the Amityville Horror House was haunted, just in time for their book to make headlines. He also showed up at the Enfield poltergeist case uninvited and claimed that it was a genuine demonic possession, despite the girls being observed multiple occasions faking the activity themselves.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's money to be made.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything that he did. Mm-hmm. And they both had this way, they had this way of showing up just outside a location that had haunted activity, and I think Ed was a painter. And so they would show up and they would paint this haunted house or allegedly haunted location, and then they would knock on the door of the place and they'd be like, "Hey, we painted this picture of your house. Would you like to have it? We'll give it to you. Also, it just so happens that we are paranormal investigators. Do you mind if we come in and take a look at the house?" And then they would go through their whole spiel.
Wow, that's brilliant. I didn't know that they painted.
Yeah. Yeah, that was how the whole fucking thing began. That was how they got access to these locations. And then, of course, Lorraine was wandering around doing her medium act, and she would find shit, and then Ed would be like, "Well, looks like you need an exorcism." And then they would perform the exorcism, and then they would publish the case and got a whole bunch of attention that way without saying, "Oh, we got there through painting." It would always kind of be like, "We were contacted by so-and-so."
That is such a grift.
Oh, yeah. They're total grift. Well, Ed at least is a total grifter. Lorraine, we've talked about Lorraine, who knows?
She could have just been useful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no reason to believe that Ed Warren had anything haunted in his collection. Partly because he wouldn't actually know a haunted object if it belched ectoplasm all over him. Blake Smith of Monster Talk pointed out that one of the items in the Haunted Museum is a copy of the Necronomicon, the legendary Book of the Dead. But that book isn't real. Do you know when the Necronomicon first appeared?
The 70s?
Oh, no, it's older than
older
that.
than that?
Yeah, it's older than that. It was an invention by H.P. Lovecraft for his mythos.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But there's no historical record of such a book prior to Lovecraft's stories in 1927. Doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yet Ed claims that he has a real copy of the Necronomicon, but it's all based from Lovecraft's stories. Now, I think Matt Rife, the comedian, intends to open the museum for tours, and he's also talked about turning the property into a haunted Airbnb, where I guess you would go and have sleepovers with Annabelle when she's not on tour. Maybe have your own impromptu investigations there. You can go there if you want, but I wouldn't expect to find many ghosts.
Is it in Las Vegas?
No, it's in New England. Because they were the New England Society.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
No, Zach Bagan's Haunted Museum is in Las Vegas.
Yeah. I'm glad because they would be cannibalizing each other.
Strict competition there, yes. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, they would never do such a thing. And Zach will never visit that museum because he doesn't fly.
No, you can't go that far. Yeah. It's a long road trip.
It's a very long road trip, yes. It's a career pivot, I think, for Matt Rife. I think he's kind of, maybe he's tired of doing the stand-up thing. Maybe he just wants more recognition. I don't know. He is passionate about this stuff. I mean, I really think you can't be best buddies with Zach Bagans and,
oh, yeah.
I don't know, just like come to this thinking it's just a money thing. I really think he is really into this.
Well, it can be both.
It can be both. It can, yeah. But I don't know. I just get a sense that he's really passionate about all this bullshit. So, good for him for finding something that he likes.
Well, that's also, if he's actually going to open a haunted Airbnb, this dovetails really nicely with the story we had, I think, back in June about the cryptid Airbnb that opened in West Virginia, right?
Very cool place.
So yeah. It seems like these places are starting to pop up and people are trying to find a hook. I mean, It makes sense, you know, the Airbnb Verbo market is absolutely flooded. So if you can find a thing that's like, this is the niche, like this is my I have Annabelle. You want to come spend time with Annabelle? Come hang out here.
Airbnb is probably going to have to start a new category, haunted.
There is a site for haunted Airbnbs.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, it's called Scarebnb, and you can go there and you can get either they're either places that are like mocked up to look like haunted places, or some of them are actual haunted locations.
Oh, what a fun thing for October.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's also an option at the top that is become a ghost, but when you click on it, it's just how to make a ghost costume, which is
that's good.
And their ghost costume is literally like cut 2 eyes in a sheet. It's a
adorable.
WikiHow article, which is remarkably long for cut 2 holes in a sheet. In Loch Ness Monster news, we have more evidence not for what Nessie is, but for what Nessie isn't, which is kind of cool. So, investigator Sharon Hill, who calls herself a strange claims adjuster, took a look at one of the more intriguing theories regarding mysterious sightings around Loch Ness. So, for context here, back in 2001, there was a theory that was proposed by Luigi Picardi that some of the sightings of the Loch Ness Monster could be explained by subtle seismic activity on the Great Glen Fault, which runs along Loch Ness and might be responsible for like some of the bubbles, maybe some of the wave activity that we associate with Nessie. The theory was subsequently published by Picardi in a 2014 paper. Honestly, for me, for a lot of researchers, it checked a lot of boxes. It provided a reasonable explanation for why we had seen so much, and it didn't call into, you didn't need a plesiosaur for it. You didn't need a breeding population. You didn't need all of these things, and it didn't require people to collectively mistake a lot of things where you're like, oh, well, some things might be mistaken swans, but they can't all be mistaken swans, But Sharon Hill refutes these claims. She pointed out that the recorded seismic activity rarely, if ever, lines up with the sighting flaps. Because you would expect that a earthquake at Loch Ness, even a subtle earthquake at Loch Ness, would spark a series of reports of the monster, because that's what this theory claims. You have an earthquake, you have some bubbles, you have some ripples. Whoa, everybody sees a monster. But that's not what historically happens. Additionally, Hill is critical of Picardi's claim that there was an earthquake around the time that St. Columba had his encounter with the monster. Do you know anything about this?
What
this
year
account?
was that? How long ago?
Oh, the 1500s.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. During our initial Loch Ness series, we didn't talk about this because I don't think that this story holds a lot of water, if you will. It doesn't hold a lot of loch water. Basically, the alleged account goes that St. Columba, who was an Irish abbot, they were at the lake. He sent one of his monks to go get a boat on the other side of the lake so they could all travel across. And so his monk swam across to get this boat. And halfway across, he was about to be attacked by a monster in Loch Ness. And so St. Columba demanded, you get out of here in the name of God. And apparently Nessie obeyed and fled from him.
Very believable story. I don't know what you're talking about. Also, this poor fucking monk. He must have been the one that nobody liked.
Yeah. Jimmy, yeah. Go get that boat over there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll go do it. He really wanted to be liked and appreciated, and poor Jimmy.
Yeah. We've started watching Father Ted, and I feel like that's Dougal there.
That would be Dougal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So credible cryptozoologists and skeptics have rejected the story of St. Columba as it's clearly a piece of Christian propaganda aimed to convert the heathens to Christianity. Modern sightings of Nessie are never aggressive. So this is totally outside the behavior of this monster. I don't know of any other sightings of the Loch Ness Monster that are aggressive or are attacking.
If that story is at all true, I would suspect that it was a seal
Oh, yeah, maybe.
because
Well,
they can be that way.
well, also otters can be aggressive sometimes.
Oh yes.
Yeah. If anything, the story better fits the mythology of like the Kelpie or the Selkie that we talked about in our series, the Celtic water horses, because they do attack innocent swimmers. They were always they were a bedtime story that you tell kids to make them not go swimming in random lakes, which is good advice. So the conclusion of all of this is that there's really little to no evidence that seismic activity has had any bearing on the sightings of Loch Ness. And I think there's another important point here, which is just because something can explain or debunk a Fortean sighting doesn't necessarily mean that that's the true reason for the sighting. I don't believe that there's really a catch-all explanation for the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie has become a tourism magnet thanks to sightings of a variety of things that we'll probably never find a single animal or event that accounts for all of them. It's this whole global phenomena that happens at Loch Ness against the backdrop of tourism that has created the Loch Ness Monster. But I do think it's an important point when we consider these things that oftentimes when we take a more skeptical approach to something, we have to be ready to say, well, I'm not necessarily looking for one thing that can be the solution for everything, is our conclusion here. And just because something could explain away part of a Fortean sighting or all of a Fortean sighting, that doesn't mean that that was the thing that did it. We have to also look at other pieces of evidence, and we have to talk about, like, can this credibly explain this based around everything that we know? So
Right.
it's definitely a stumbling block that you can run into if you're not thinking critically about your own research.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I really appreciate Sharon Hill's whole website. And when I was looking into this, I went down a rabbit hole about earthquake predictions and everything, and how there's like groundwater changes in wells and springs that are reported before an earthquake, and radon gets emitted, and lights. There's this phenomenon of lights that appear before an earthquake that people can see, and it's just like really interesting stuff. So I would recommend, if you wanted to read about earthquake predictions, check out her article about earthquake lights, because that's pretty cool. And it sounds slightly cryptid possibly, because if you see lights in the woods or on a mountaintop, I mean, it could just be first of all, I don't think they know exactly what causes them, but they can be associated with earthquakes.
Interesting.
And so I just find that to be really interesting and might be worth looking into more in the future, because it's cool.
I had heard about earthquake lights a long time ago. In reference to maybe explaining some UFO sightings in more remote locations. And I still need to look more into it. But yeah, that's a fascinating little piece of natural phenomena that happens that could absolutely be misconstrued as something else. Very cool.
Yeah, super neat.
So this next article was kind of a funny article because the premise was basically everybody agrees the Bermuda Triangle isn't real. That was just kind of what the article was. And there's not really even that new of reporting here. It's just like another person agrees that the Bermuda Triangle isn't real. But we haven't really talked a whole lot about the Bermuda Triangle on this podcast, so I thought it would be a cool opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Australian researcher Carl Kruszelnicki was quoted in Popular Mechanics as agreeing with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association that the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle has been solved through simple probability. Now, the Bermuda Triangle is a section of the Atlantic Ocean where strange things allegedly happen. It's delineated by drawing lines from Bermuda eastern Puerto Rico, and southern Florida in a triangular shape. This area first became famous in the 1940s when a squadron of 5 Navy bombers disappeared there. It's still, to this day, unclear what happened to those pilots and their crafts.
That's so crazy to me.
It's wild. There were 5 planes. They were flying in the Bermuda Triangle. They were radioing in.
I don't know how
that,
5 planes disappear.
They're gone.
I don't understand that.
Well,
okay.
A lot of rumors have circulated about what happened. Some people say there were interdimensional portals. Some people say they were abducted by aliens. Some people say there are like ocean monsters that live there. All kinds of crazy stuff. The planes themselves were prone to fuel leaks, which cause explosions. You can imagine how hard it might be to find pieces of a plane in the 1940s and 1950s, and how the sudden disappearance of 5 planes would spark wild theories like this. More mundane theories involve navigational errors that cause the planes to run out of fuel. But after the disappearance of these planes of Flight 19, researchers started looking at other incidents in the area and found other disappearances of mostly seafaring crafts like ships, dating all the way back to the age of the sail. And Vincent Gaddis, a Fortean author, concluded that these were all related to whatever weird phenomena caused the planes to disappear, and the legend of the Bermuda Triangle was born. However, for decades, more skeptical researchers have been claiming that there's really nothing unusual about the frequency of those disappearances. Larry Kusch, writing in the Skeptical Inquirer, said, "The mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is one of the most widespread frauds that has ever been perpetrated. It was based on poor research, distorted, untrue, inaccurate information that was uncritically copied." Karl Kruszelnicki echoed this in a recent article, saying, "The number of ships and planes that go missing in the Bermuda Triangle is the same as anywhere else in the world on a percentage basis." So basically, what these researchers are saying is when you take an area of that size with that amount of travel, because, you know, this was a pretty popular, we're talking about a waterway into the Caribbean, right? From Europe into the New World. Pretty popular waterway. When you take that and you look at the amount of disappearances there in that area based around the amount of ships and the square mileage of it, it's no different than any other region of the world. The only reason that the Bermuda Triangle has become popular in the modern cultural zeitgeist is because the disappearance of Flight 19 was such a publicized event in the 1940s.
That makes sense. I have a wild theory, groundbreaking theory about this.
Go for it.
All right. Although you did say that it's not really, it's the same as everywhere else, apparently.
Essentially, what happened, or I mean, I guess this is a theory, but it's also kind of a fact, is the Flight 19 disappeared. It got a whole bunch of people looking at this region. They then retrofitted many disappearances to say, oh, these happened inside the Bermuda Triangle, therefore something's going on in the Bermuda Triangle, instead of just saying, oh, there were some disappearances. Oh, there were some other disappearances in this region. Well, okay.
Yeah, there's disappearances everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. There are ship disappearances everywhere. Yes. But what's your theory, EJ?
It's weird, like, okay, it kind of falls apart if you think about the fact that there's disappearances everywhere at the same rate. Like,
Sure.
we like literally, like, old ships are gone. Old planes are gone. We don't see them. We don't even see the wreckage, I guess.
Right.
Okay. But if there was a slight increase in the Bermuda Triangle versus everywhere else in the world, the Sargasso Sea is not far from the Bermuda Triangle. And my thinking is it is between Europe and the Caribbean. And my thinking is ships that get becalmed in that area would sink and probably not float anywhere. They'd just be gone. And like, if you have a shipwreck in the Caribbean, it ends up following that gyre and ends up in the Sargasso Sea, then you're not going to find the wreckage. And if the plane disappears, maybe you won't find the wreckage ever because it's sitting in the Sargasso Sea at the bottom of the ocean and it's not going to go anywhere else. So that's my theory.
Well, you are not the only person to have proposed that the Sargasso Sea might be related to the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah. And I would assume that the researchers take that into account when they look at the geography of the region and the ships that sail through there and stuff. Because, I mean, a becalmed ship, that would explain part of it for sure. Yeah.
But, I know nothing. So, but it's just and it's on the top of my mind because I'm rewatching Black Sails right now. And
Great show.
Yeah.
It's also no surprise to me that the number of missing crafts have dropped off very sharply in the latter half of the century as things like radar and navigational equipment improved, where we don't really have disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle anymore. I believe the last notable disappearance in the Bermuda Triangle was actually in the 1960s. So this is kind of wild. There was a photograph taken of a strange flying creature in Mexico. So this photo was taken earlier this month, allegedly at La Cuerva de los Murciélagos, or the Bat Cave in Nuevo León, Mexico.
Actually, I think it was captured in 2018.
Well, yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But no, so it depends. Again, as I was starting to go through this research, I initially saw it as, wow, new photo, bat creature, right? And then the more I looked, the more I was like, oh, this photo is older than you think it is. Anyway, so this photo shows some kind of giant flying creature in the air. You can make out it has two wings. It has an elongated light brown looking body. And it was photographed at the Bat Cave, which is famous in the region for swarms of bats that explode out at dusk, like Batman style. It's really wild. But rumors claim that giant bats or bird-like creatures actually live in that cave too. These seem to be associated with the mythological Camazotz, or the death bat. That was a giant bat that was mentioned in the Mayan Popol Vuh, a creature that was often associated with nighttime and with sacrifice. I was really fascinated by this image. I thought it was really, really cool. And so I reverse image searched that picture to try to find the original source of it, because this was the article that we were working off of was Omnivologia? Yeah, that. It's linked in the show notes. But anyway, so that was the source that we were going off of. But I wanted to see if I could find the original source of the image. And I found results on Google reverse image search that went back at least 7 years. So it was not taken recently. It's unclear why this website decided to post this article this month. Anyway, two things strike me about this photo. One, the creature is not in shadow, although the shadows are falling across the cliff face in the background. And so to me, that means that whatever this thing is, there is some distance between the cave and the camera and the creature, right? So the creature is not in the shadow of the cave.
Yeah.
While forced perspective of the photograph makes it seem like that thing is really, really far off, it could actually be very, very close to the person posing. And two, if reporting around this photo is to be believed, the people who shot it didn't see the creature at the time. Now, certainly the dude posing doesn't seem like he's interested in it. He's looking at the camera. And I think that if your buddy said, oh my God, look at the giant bat behind you, you would probably turn around and look at the giant bat behind you, right? Mm-hmm. But allegedly, it wasn't until after they looked at the photo that they saw the creature. Uploaded it on the computer or were reviewing the photo or something like that. So my guess is that the reason that they didn't see it when they were photographing it is because it was actually something very, very small and very close to the camera lens, like an insect, which appears bigger through forced perspective.
Yeah. Also, what is up with the rendering, the close-up rendering here? Is that an artist's rendering? Or?
Oh, the picture of it, which has
Yeah.
the like weird eyes and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an artist rendering.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because that wasn't even like that doesn't even look close to what.
Well, they have so they have a picture of it that's sort of like overlaid over the background of the photograph to make it look more like, oh, we zoomed in on it. And then if you scroll down farther, they have that artist rendering that's overlaid over a road somewhere. Mm-hmm. And seems to be more of like a bird creature. It's fuzzy. I mean, maybe it's a bat. I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely an artist depiction of whatever was supposedly in that photo. The article goes on to talk more about Mothman, which is not related to this story at all. But any, big winged creature always ends up being associated with Mothman in some way. Mothman or Thunderbird, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it really does look like it could be a bug.
Yeah, I saw other people, I found it on Facebook as well, and some other people said it might be a bird that has something in its talons and so is dangling like a squirrel or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And because the bird and the squirrel are the same body color, it looks like it has just become one figure with longer legs instead of being two distinct shapes.
That is what it looks like. Wow.
Still cool. I'm not sure that there's a giant bat living in that cave, but still pretty cool.
It is cool. And the sunlight on it looks correct. Because the sun is coming, if you're looking at the photo, it's coming right to left. It's hitting the left side of his face.
Right.
And it's hitting the left side of the flying thing's face. So it's definitely like closer and in the sun.
Right. As opposed to being back in the shadow of that cave, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you said. Yeah.
Coming back to the United States, we have a particular cryptid spotted in Colorado. This is rabbits showing odd growths on their heads that look like tentacles or even horns.
This is really freaking me out.
Is it?
It's freaky. I don't like it.
They look weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These growths, which resemble black bones on their heads, are actually the result of the Shop papillomavirus, which is a DNA virus that is transmitted through contact or insect vectors. The horns are actually a carcinoma growth, a form of a cancerous lesion. In domestic rabbits, these tumors can be removed surgically, and you can vaccinate your rabbit against the virus. But in the wild, rabbits might contract this virus and just be hopping around with horns.
And it actually is, they can live and kind of get over it naturally in the wild as long as it doesn't affect their breathing and eating and things like that.
Right. So I would assume that most of these rabbits are going to be just fine because it seems like they are just horns on their head as long as it's not near their mouth or something like that. Yeah. It's thought that this virus may actually be the origin of the jackalope cryptid myth, which is funny because you don't normally think of the jackalope as a cryptid, right?
I mean, I do. Isn't it?
There's this weird distinction, I think, sometimes where it's like, what is pure mythology? Like Medusa. We're like, well, we don't believe that Medusa was real. Do we believe that the jackalope was real? I don't really know, right?
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah.
But if you believe that at some point somebody saw a bunch of horned rabbits and said, "Oh my God, that's a jackalope," then yeah, we'll consider a cryptid for today anyway.
Sure.
The modern jackalope was created by rogue taxidermists in the 1930s, but stories of horned rabbits exist as far back as the medieval period. You can see them on medieval art even, these rabbits with horns sometimes. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Allegedly, do you know how to lure a jackalope, EJ? What do you use to lure a jackalope?
Cantaloupe?
No, it's a beverage.
Coke Zero?
Whiskey.
Oh,
You can lure a jackalope with whiskey.
huh.
That's its favorite drink.
Okay.
And if you want to go hunting a jackalope, you can get a jackalope hunting license in Wyoming.
No.
No, you can. You can. The thing is that it's a very short hunting season. It's only on June 31st.
Why? Matt, why? Come on, don't look at me like that.
June 31st?
I don't know. I don't know.
There is no June 31st.
Oh, fuck you.
What?
yourself.
I was waiting for you to figure it
know
out.
how many days are in the month? I don't give a fuck. I just look at the calendar and I say, oh, okay, yeah, it's the end of the month.
I said it like 3 times. I was like, June 31st.
Matt,
and then you're like,
you could have, what other, I mean, I don't know. You could have said September 31st. Is there a 31st in September?
yes.
Okay, then September 30th. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I know. What is the stupid rhyme?
30 days has September, April, June, and November. All the rest of 31. Rain, snow, and some kind of sun, and the moon grows fat in everyone.
Okay.
That's from Stephen King, but yeah.
Well, I don't know that rhyme, but
Yeah.
I've heard of it and I know it exists. Okay. Wait, is that real about Wyoming? Do they really
Yes.
have that in there?
Yeah.
That's really funny. I like that.
Yeah. You can hunt them. Your license is good from midnight until 2 a.m. And in order to qualify, your IQ has to be under 72.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
I would have qualified because I thought that there were 31 days and
Yeah, you're well. I think
on
you
my
could
way.
pass. You could pass.
I could do
Yeah.
it. Nice.
Also, they say that if you're going to go hunt the jackalope, you should wear stovepipes on your shins because they will attack you and try to gore you with their horns.
Okay. Good to know. I'm going to get that ready. I'm ready. I'm going to Wyoming.
Yeah, that's Wyoming was where the jackalope, the modern incarnation, was invented. Yeah, that's why it's in Wyoming. They actually have the town. I forget the name of the town now, but the town itself has a statue of a jackalope, and yeah,
That's so
Pretty
cool.
cool.
So is it thought that the papillomavirus was in Europe in the medieval days like
Yes.
that? Okay.
yeah, yeah. As far as I know, there is evidence of the papillomavirus all over the world, including in Asia. And there has been evidence of artistic depictions of jackalopes all over the world, including Asia.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
And it's just rabbits.
Just rabbits. It's not transmissible to any other species, as far as I know, as far as science has depicted.
Cool.
So, yeah. I'm so sad Katie's not here for this, because this is UFO news, but this is also like gossip news. And this,
Aw, hot goss.
yeah, this is
Sorry,
our hot
Katie.
goss section. UFO/gossip news. Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna has gotten into a Twitter fight with Lou Elizondo, and we are here for it.
You're so here for it.
Luna is the latest figurehead of the UAP disclosure movement, since she is currently serving as the head of the task force on the declassification of federal secrets. Now, this feud started when Luna went on the Joe Rogan show earlier this month and started babbling about aliens. She claimed that she had evidence of, quote, interdimensional beings. Although she didn't go into details, she said that this claim was based on evidence that she had seen and reports that she had been given. And she said, people have reported that there have been movement outside of time and space, which sounds very Doctor Who to me. On the show, she also indirectly called out Lou Elizondo, claiming that she and others had trouble getting any of these claimed activist whistleblowers to report their claims in SCIFs, or sensitive compartmented information facilities. Basically the cone of silence from Get Smart, which is a really fucking old reference. But we know at least Elizondo was supposed to report to one and didn't, and David Grush was supposed to report to one and didn't.
So that's really suspicious.
What, did they were
They
supposed to
didn't.
report to SCIFs and didn't? Well, apparently Elizondo had a speaking engagement and he wasn't able to do it. And David Grush, I don't know what was going on with him, but he wasn't able to do it either.
There's been a lot of time for him to make that work too.
Yeah, and so this becomes a really interesting kind of conundrum where I feel like we don't have enough information to really know what's going on here. But is that because they only give you one time, and if you don't show up, they're like, well, we didn't get him? Or are they actually actively trying to work with you and like, Elizondo, let us know when you can make it? And he's like, oh man, look at the time. Yeah, like I don't know what's going on here.
It's a two-way street for sure.
For sure.
But I do know that like Grush was very much in the hearing being like, I will talk to you in a skiff.
Right.
Constantly, he was saying that.
Well, and they say that in all of the public ones because there's a lot of information that is classified that they can't talk about for, security concerns or whatever. And so they're like, hey, we have to do this behind closed doors, which I understand. I get that. But it seems like there has been problems getting people into these skiffs. So apparently that comment on Joe Rogan pissed off Lou Elizondo, the ex-military intelligence officer and disclosure activist. And he claimed that his invitation to the skiff was short notice and he couldn't make it due to his speaking engagement. So he shot back and attacked her on Twitter or X or whatever and called her out for calling him out, essentially, and said, I had a speaking engagement. He even gave a screenshot of his email where he was like, hey, I have this going on. Let us know when we can reschedule. Luna then responded to that and harassed him for putting her on blast on X and said they would work around his schedule if he was willing to come testify. And she followed this up with a veiled threat against people with, quote, skiff flu, saying that they were considering issuing actual subpoenas if those individuals failed to comply. And that was likely aimed at Grush, who also didn't attend the skiff in April.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't like Luna.
I don't like Luna either.
But it seems to me, unless she's lying, which I wouldn't put past any of these people, that they are giving them every opportunity, at least in public, to come out to the skiff. And they're not doing it. So I guess I just don't understand. We don't know. We're on the outside of it. We don't know who's really to blame here. If it's both people, I don't, both parties. But weird.
I don't like Luna either. It's funny because I was on X, which I don't spend a whole lot of time on X during my regular day, but I was on X quite a lot. And Luna's pinned tweet is, "The American people deserve to know the truth," referencing Epstein, regardless of who it impacts. And yet Luna seems to be devoting her time to public fights with Elizondo and supporting Trump rather than actually doing her job at the task force and releasing federal secrets that actually fucking matter, like how much the US president was involved with a known underage prostitution ring. So, I mean, and it should come as no surprise to anyone who's been following this for any length of time that Luna has offered no evidence to back up any of her claims beyond, trust me. She went on Joe Rogan. She was like, I've seen evidence of this, but she didn't give us any of that evidence. As we've said time and time again on this podcast, there is a mountain of rational explanations for alleged alien and UFO evidence inside the US government. Thanks to internal audits from earlier this year, we know that UFOs and quote-unquote leaked information have been repeatedly used as loyalty tests. And we know that sandbox strategy meetings use fantastical scenarios like alien invasions or zombie apocalypses as an engaging way to play out theoretical scenarios. We know that these things are true. So if that's all the evidence that she is collecting, that does not prove aliens, extra dimensional beings, interstellar crafts, anything like that. All that proves is that all of the things we've been talking about are still true.
We need to see the bodies, man.
We need to see something, we need to see something. And I'd love it to come from, Luna rather than some dude on Reddit whose handle is like a made up bunch of letters and numbers who then disappears after that. Like I'd love to see somebody with actual authority come down and say, hey, this is something that I can't explain.
Right. And here's the evidence for it, by the way.
Right. And then submit it and let people look at it. We have this problem with Jaime Maussan, who, we've kind of tangentially talked about before, but Jaime Maussan is the person who's presenting all these things like the Bugosphere sphere and I think it's the Bugosphere, not the Bugosphere, the Bugosphere and these alien bodies and stuff, where it's like, that would be cool if someone legitimate was presenting it, but it's Jaime Maussan who has been faking shit for a decade.
Also, how is he going about doing it? Like, let independent parties look at these things.
Right. Yeah.
Let's follow the scientific method. He's not doing that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's his hand-picked scientists who always look at that stuff. In a lot of ways, this is the first story that we talked about with the Bigfoot body. Like, look at the person who's presenting this body. Look at the quote-unquote evidence that they have collected and the researchers that they have doing this evidence. Because for that, Snake Stewart, he's the guy who's coming forward with it, and he's doing push-ups in his tighty whitey polka dot underwear. He's, doesn't have the taxidermist available to talk to. We don't have any evidence that Cornell actually did any of the research on these bodies. Like, give us something, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, none of Luna's comments mean that there are secret aliens hidden in the government. But getting part of these stories without getting the whole story can very quickly snowball into someone like Luna believing that they actually exist. Again, we're talking about, maybe you found out about some of these war games that we're running and you don't have the whole story about that. Well, I can see how you would then think, wow, there are craft recovery programs that are going on. I have this sneaking suspicion that Anna Paulina Luna has qualified for her Jackalope license, if you get my drift.
Well, then that means that we will be hunting buddies. I look forward to hunting with her in Wyoming.
Now, meanwhile, Lou Elizondo is spending his time opening a new bar in Buffalo, Wyoming. It's a World War II Officers Club themed cocktail lounge called Bombshells American Cantina. And they serve vintage cocktails and they have a piano at the bar. There's a kitchen in progress and they're planning on serving food at some point next year.
Yeah, and they're going to play old movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
It looks so cool. Yeah. And the way he designed it and the way he decorated it is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. It's cool.
Yeah, apparently it's something that's really important to him because it's reminiscent of his childhood growing up and going, or I guess childhood is not exactly the right word, but going to these bars as a younger man and having this officers club overseas. And I do think it's kind of cool, for veterans or something like that, to get out of, we always think of the VFW and stuff, give them an opportunity to go to a place that can be a community for them in more of a cool style location, I think would be awesome.
Yeah. VFWs are great, but
they serve a very particular purpose.
Really good purpose, yeah. And it's nice. It's just really cool, but there is something about Lou Elizondo's bar that's just, it's one step above. It's classy. It looks fun. It looks warm and welcoming. Totally. I spent a lot of time in VFWs, and again, nothing wrong with them, but maybe they've changed. But in my memory of them, they're very cold and a little they're just not. They just don't have that warm atmosphere.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think this would be. I think what he's doing is really cool, and honestly, I think that would be a really successful. Not chain, because I think chain would take the life out of it, but if he opened a few more, I think it'd be really cool.
Apparently this is the second.
Oh, is it?
So his partner...
Tucker Alger.
Yeah, Tucker Alger.
Or Alger.
Tucker Alger, Tucker Alger. This is, I guess this is Tucker Alger's second bar.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I guess these are not necessarily a chain, but... they have other bars.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, so he's doing something cool.
Yeah, and you know, I know the people in the community have gotten really upset about this because they feel like Lou Elizondo, as this UFO disclosure activist, should be focused on UFO disclosure, I guess, 24/7 or whatever. And people are upset that he's taking the proceeds, most likely the proceeds from his book, and investing them in this place and stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, he can do whatever he wants.
He's using his money for good.
Yeah, he should enjoy his time. And of all of the things that he could be spending money from his book proceeds on, this one seems all right to me.
Yeah, me
I'm
too.
okay with that.
Yeah. The more we can do for veterans, the better. And
sure.
not that it's just for veterans, but it seems like a nice place for people to go. Veterans' families, any of that. So cool.
Yes.
And honestly, you can do whatever you want. You can open a bar if you want to. If you own a tiger enclosure that has a lot of issues, you can also run for president.
Yeah,
You
he
can
did.
do whatever
it was
you want.
unsuccessful. Oh my God. What if Snake Stewart is starting a presidential campaign?
Oh boy.
What if that's the whole thing?
I'd take him over the potential for having Trump again.
I have Snake Stewart, if you're listening to this podcast, and you might be actually, I'm going to give you your campaign slogan right now. Snake Stewart 2028. Can't be worse, right?
Can't be worse. I think he'll come up with a better one, but I like that. Can't be worse. I wonder what Joe Exotic's was.
I don't remember. I just remember Joe Exotic's commercial was "I'm gay as shit."
Yeah, I'm gay as shit and whatever. I don't remember what he said. I'm broke.
His platform was that he was gay and broke.
Oh, I love it.
It might be I'm broke as shit. It might be yeah. It was I'm gay. I'm broke as shit.
Yeah. Oh, I love him. Oh, I mean, I don't love him, but I love the character. He's a real character.
Yeah.
He's a real corker, as my family would say. All right. There you go.
That's pretty much it. You know, there was a couple reports. We don't have a follow-up on Atlas yet, but we're going to keep an eye on that. And the Atlas, the interstellar object, that's going to be arriving in our solar system and buzzing Earth in October. So we'll keep an eye on that. But currently, there's no real breaking news on that. And yeah, so I think that's our August here, man.
There you go.
Okay. Well, when this episode comes out, we are deep in our zombie series. We will have Katie
6 feet under.
6 feet under. We will have Katie back for episode 3 of the zombie series. That'll be coming out shortly after this episode airs. And after that, we are going to jump from zombies into, I mean, look, it is going to be just about Halloween and spooky season at that point, and we're going to jump to something really, really cool. We have some great stuff planned for Halloween, so Stick around for that. But thank you all so much for listening. We love having you as part of our community. If you want to show your support for this podcast, head over to slayingmonsterspodcast.com, click on the support us button at the top of the page, and there you can leave a donation or become a supporter of the podcast. Also there, if you want to get some pretty cool merch like t-shirts, coffee cups, that sort of thing, head over to slayingmonsterspodcast.com, click on the merch button, and you can check out all the stuff we have there. So you have a quote, EJ?
I do. Okay, this is an Isaac Asimov quote.
Nice.
And he says, "The saddest aspect of life right now is that science gathers knowledge faster than society gathers wisdom."
I like it. Awesome.
Sad but true.
Isaac Asimov, dude. iRobot, baby. Such a great series. Anyway, okay. Well, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time with some zombies.
All right, see you later.
Be safe out there. Thanks for listening to Slaying Monsters, the Fortean History Podcast. If you like the podcast, there's a couple ways you can show your support. You can tell your friends, you can leave us a rating and review on your podcast platform, or you can head over to slayingmonsterspodcast.com and click on the Support Us button to leave a donation. For questions, suggestions, and other feedback, reach out to us, slayingmonsterspodcast@gmail.com. And stay up to date by following us on socials at Slaying Monsters Podcast. Your support helps us grow, and we are truly grateful to have our listeners and community.